They found the message deep in space, burned into the ruins of a dead world, one line, glowing red. Still active after centuries, do not touch Earth. They are not what they seem, the Varnak Empire laughed. They had conquered 90 planets, crushed resistance in a dozen galaxies. To them, Earth was just another primitive rock, spinning around a dying sun. Their grand council gathered in the capital chamber. Tall, armored, confident, the Emperor leaned forward, his voice cold. "This Earth," he said, "is barely crawling. Let us put it out of its misery." No one objected. Their scout ship Shadowwing 7 was already near the solar system it sent back its report. No planetary shields, no deep space defenses, limited energy signatures. They scanned Earth's satellites, weak, outdated, human-made, no threat detected. The scout concluded, was watching not from space, from below, deep underground, beneath Earth's crust. An old system woke up silent for over 200 years now, blinking, thinking. Calculating. Its voice was old, synthetic, layered with echoes of war and warning. They have arrived across the globe. Strange machines opened their eyes, buried in mountains, frozen in ice, hidden beneath oceans, long dormant, now active. The humans never knew they were. There they were not built by any government, not listed in any records. They were not built by humans at all, the first Varnak. Warships entered Earth's orbit, massive, dark, shaped like blades. They hovered above cities. Waiting for surrender, their leader, Commander Duran, broadcast a message, a single voice, across all frequencies: surrender. And you will be allowed to serve. But Earth did not respond, not with fear, not with words. There was only silence, until a low-frequency pulse hit the Varnak ships. They dismissed it, a glitch. Some strange human signal. They were wrong on the dark side of the moon. A forgotten satellite rotated into position. Not human built its systems, scanned the alien ships' locked targets, calculated patterns, and then it sent the first warning shot. One of the Varnak warships vanished, not exploded, vanished, pulled out of existence. Mid-transmission, the fleet reeled their systems, went dark for 3 seconds. Then the second pulse hit across Earth. In underground bunkers, old human technology began to hum. Radios turned on by themselves. Military bases found sealed vaults, unlocked inside weapons never seen before. Blueprints written in a language no one recognized. The Varnak had assumed humans were alone, but someone else had been here long before, and they had left. A warning system behind Commander Jerome demanded an explanation. He sent drones into Earth's atmosphere. Only 2 returned. Both were melted like something had rearranged their atoms. The Emperor was informed. Still, he did not believe. "We crush primitives," he said. "We do not fear their toys." But this was not fear. This was strategy. This was a trap. One of the human satellites turned toward the Varnak fleet, not to send a message, but to watch it. Blinked once, twice, and then transmitted a signal directly into the Varnak ships, not in their language, not in any known code. Just for simple words: "We warned you already," deep inside Earth. The ancient system completed its scan, all Varnak ships identified. All locations mapped. Protocol 1, it said. "Begin containment." The skies above Earth shimmered. A barrier appeared, not physical, but energy-based. Nothing could escape, nothing could enter. The Varnak had arrived, but they were not going home. Not today, and not ever. The Varnak touched down on Earth, expecting fear, expecting silence or surrender. What they found was something else. The first troop ship landed in North America. Near what was once called Montana, they scanned for resistance, but found only trees. Mountains. Silence. Commander Raoul stepped out first, his armor hissing, his weapon hot behind him. 200 Varnak soldiers followed, ready to conquer, ready to dominate, but the forest didn't care. It stood quiet. Wind moving through leaves like whispers. The Varnak spread out. Searching, scanning, still nothing. No soldiers, no tanks, no missiles. Commander Raoul opened a come line. "This region is abandoned," he said. "Primitive humans have fled." He was wrong just before. Sunset. The first scream was heard. It wasn't human. It came from a Varnak scout. Alone for just 10 seconds, when the others reached his location, all they found was armor. Bent, burned, no body, no sign of struggle. Just one word carved into a nearby tree. Runrao ordered a full scan. Thermal motion. Life detection, but the systems failed, flickered, glitched. Something was jamming them. Something they didn't understand. Then it began. Small traps, hidden bombs, silent snipers. Not military, not organized, but smart, precise, terrifying. The Varnak called it guerrilla warfare. But this was more than that. The humans didn't just fight, they disappeared, moved like ghosts, attacked without warning, and never twice the same way. In one night, Commander Raoul lost 37 soldiers by morning. Only half his force remained. He called for extraction, but the sky answered with silence. The ships in orbit gone, not destroyed. Just gone, no comms, no beacons, just emptiness. Far above in low orbit, something was hunting the Varnak fleet. They couldn't see it, couldn't track it, but one by one their ships stopped responding back on Earth. A human base deep in the Rockies, activated inside 6 figures in black, moved through an old steel corridor. One of them spoke calm, focused there. On the ground, scattered, overconfident, another nodded time to remind them what Earth really is. They wore no flags, no insignias, no ranks, just gear that shimmered with tech. No army officially owned. They were part of a program the world never knew existed. Codename Aegis Unit, built in secret. Trained off-grid operating since 1962, their mission, defend Earth by any means. From any threat, even alien, especially alien. At night they moved in, the Varnak patrols were ambushed without warning. Without sound energy blades, pulse rounds, EMP traps, one soldier recorded the event. Before the signal cut out, he whispered one word. Again and again, monsters, monsters, monsters. Commander Raoul was found the next morning. His body suspended from a tree armor melted into his chest. Another message burned into the dirt. You were warned in. The capital chamber of the Varnak Empire, panic began to grow. This was no longer a simple invasion. This was resistance, real and brutal. The Emperor stared at the screen, his claws tightening. He turned to his war advisor. You said they were weak. The advisor's voice cracked. They were supposed to be. But Earth was not weak. It was waiting, preparing, learning from every alien encounter, every crash, every sighting they took. The tech studied it, improved it, hid it, and now they used it not to ask for help, not to run, but to fight back in the shadows of Earth. The real war had just begun, and the Varnak were losing. The world didn't sleep that night. Across every continent, people looked up at the sky. Some saw lights, others saw ships, most saw nothing at all, but something was there. Watching, moving, waiting, the news said. Nothing. Government said even less, but in secret, Earth's oldest defense programs were already awake, not military, not public, something older, deeper, hidden in places even presidents didn't know existed. In a cold chamber under Greenland, a voice spoke. After 70 years of silence, humanity has been engaged. A set of switches flipped themselves on screens, lit up with unfamiliar star maps, unknown symbols, and energy readings not from this world. The room had no doors, no staff, only machines built from wreckage from other worlds back in orbit. The remaining Varnak fleet circled Earth, scanning, trying to understand what had gone wrong. Had lost 5 ships in 2 days without a single battle, no weapons detected, no warning, no survivors. Something was taking them. Not destroying them, erasing them, the Varnak admiral gave the order, deploy orbital drones. Full network, full force, thousands of small units launched, spreading like a cloud. Scanning every signal, every movement, but it didn't help. Because the threat wasn't coming from above, it was coming from below. In the Nevada desert, a classified facility activated its final protocol. A vault opened, steel groaning lights, flickering inside. A vehicle that didn't match any known design, black curved, humming quietly. The label on the wall was simple, Project Cerberus. A man in uniform stood beside it. His badge said nothing, his face said less. He placed his hand on the console, it scanned his DNA, matched it to a file sealed in 1974. The vehicle came alive, not with an engine, but with something older, something sentient. It spoke one word, confirmed back in orbit, the Varnak. Admiral made contact with ground forces, or tried to, but the signals came back scrambled. Cut, distorted voices, screamed words, lost in static. One message got through. Only once, don't come down, they're not what we thought. Then silence in South America, a Varnak dropship crashed. Locals said it was hit by a bolt of red lightning, but the weather was clear, no storms, no clouds. Soldiers arrived to investigate, but found the ship ripped open from the inside. No crew, no tech, only ash on the wall. A symbol drawn in dust, 3 lines crossing a circle, not human, not alien, something else across Earth. Strange signals began to echo through deep channels. Old satellites started responding to commands that hadn't been used. In decades in Siberia, a research team uncovered a buried structure. Not made of stone, not metal, either something in between, alive, humming with dormant energy. Energy. As they got close, it opened by itself inside a chamber of lights, and a single word carved into the wall: "They are ready." The humans didn't panic. Not this time, because the truth was, this had always been expected. For decades, they had been preparing after every crash, every sighting, every cover-up. They didn't just hide the evidence. They studied it, learned from it, built from it. The weapons now used in the field were not fully human, and not fully alien. They were something. Knew something the Varnock didn't understand, couldn't predict, couldn't stop. In the shadows of Earth, hunters became prey. The Varnock were fast, strong, organized. But the humans were something else, unpredictable, relentless, furious. They didn't follow rules. They made their own. One Varnock officer recorded his final log before his ship vanished. He whispered, "They don't fight like us. They think differently. They use chaos like a weapon." His last words were clear: "This planet is not weak. It's hungry." The Varnock no longer searched for victory. They searched for survival. What started as an invasion was now a slow disaster. They had numbers, they had firepower, but Earth had something they didn't understand and couldn't control: adaptation. The humans were changing fast, learning from every encounter, every loss, every mistake. They weren't just fighting back, they were evolving. In North Africa, a Varnock strike team moved through desert ruins. They searched for a hidden command center, said to be broadcasting interference. What they found was a trap. Dozens of human drones, cloaked, buried in the sand, exploded upward as one silent, efficient cold. The entire squad was gone in 5 seconds. From above, Varnock surveillance caught only heat flashes and a strange echo in the signal. A voice repeating over and over, "We see you, we're coming in South Korea." Human engineers activated the Skyfold protocol. It wasn't a weapon, not exactly. It was a system ancient rediscovered a way to fold space around the planet, twist the edges of gravity. The Varnock ships in low orbit felt at first their instruments went dark, navigation froze, then reversed. One by one, the ships turned the wrong direction, drifted, collided, vanished. The Earth below shimmered like a mirage, and for a moment space itself bent back. In Washington, the Aegis unit reviewed satellite footage. One agent leaned forward, eyes narrowed. "That wasn't just human tech," she said. "That's something else." Her partner nodded. "We're not just using their weapons," he whispered. "We've become them." The old generals didn't understand. The scientists were guessing, but the ones in the field, the ones fighting in cities and shadows, they knew the truth. The war had changed them, and there was no going back. In Brazil, human forces reclaimed a captured zone they didn't use. Tanks, they didn't use planes, they used swarms, small flying machines shaped like birds, moving as one, tracking Varnock heat signatures. They sang as they moved, a soft mechanical hum. It sounded like music, until the strike then silenced. The Varnock sent distress calls to their empire. They begged for reinforcements, extraction help. No answer came, because now something was targeting their long-range comms, something built on Earth, or maybe below it. The Varnock began abandoning their ground posts, pulling back, regrouping, searching for safe zones, but there were none. Every region, every time zone, every corner of Earth was now hostile. Not because of the terrain, but because of the people. Humans no longer fought like an army, they fought like a force of nature. Every attack was different. Every trap had layers. Every ambush ended with a message burned, etched, whispered into alien comms. You were warned. In a dark command center beneath Iceland, Earth's top black site operatives reviewed global resistance data. Every success, every pattern, every Varnock defeat. One of them smiled. "We're winning," he said. "But it's not just us." He tapped the screen, showing unknown signal bursts. "Not from Earth, not Varnock either, something else." "They're watching," he whispered. "Left the warning in the stars. They're still out there. And I think they're helping." Meanwhile, in the shadows of Europe, a human strike team entered an old church. Inside, under the altar, they found a sealed capsule covered in alien markings, pulsing faint blue. They opened it, and inside a map, not of Earth, but of the Varnock. Homeworld coordinates, access codes, hidden vulnerabilities. The leader of the team looked up. "AI's hard. They came to us," she said. "Now we go to them. We go to them." The shift was quiet, but absolute Earth was no longer defending. It was hunting, and the Varnock felt it everywhere. In every region, they still held their forces, scattered their supplies, cut their ships missing. They had never lost before, not like this. But the worst part wasn't the weapons or the traps. It was the humans themselves, unpredictable, chaotic, fearless. They didn't follow patterns, they didn't wait, they adapted. Fast, violently, and now they were changing in a deep facility below Alaska. A system came online for the first time in decades. Power surged through forgotten cables. A voice spoke slow, metallic, clear project. Ragnarok status, green. A massive screen lit up, showing a ship, not Varnock, not human, a hybrid something Earth had built using stolen enemy tech. Reverse, engineered, reshaped, reborn, a weapon, a fortress. A message: the humans had captured a Varnock dreadnought, they had taken its systems, cracked its code, and reprogrammed its brain. Now it answered to them inside the command bay. A young pilot placed her hand on the interface. The ship responded instantly, shifting, waking up lights. Blinked engines warmed. The AI spoke not in Varnock, not in human tongue, but something in between. We are ready. The mission was simple. Go to the Varnock border, strike first, strike hard, let them know Earth would never kneel. As the dreadnought rose from a hidden mountain hangar, it left no sound, no heat. It moved like a ghost covered in Earth's newest cloaking. Tech powered by stolen alien cores. On board were 18 specialists, trained in silence, raised in secrecy, every one of them born after Roswell, trained from childhood. Not just to fight, but to win at any cost. Didn't wear military colors. Their uniforms were black stitched with strange symbols, symbols no one taught, only passed down as the ship passed Mars. It sent a message, encrypted, simple, coming for the fire you started in the Varnock Empire. Panic spread like disease. Their outer colonies had gone dark, their listening posts silent. The Emperor ordered full war mode, but his generals hesitated. They had never seen Earth fight like this. One of them spoke, voice shaking. We thought they were weak, but we never saw their core. The Emperor roared, slammed his fist on the war table. We are the Empire. We do not fall to savages, but even he knew it was changing. They had made a mistake, and now that mistake was coming for them. Across the galaxy, other species watched. Some in silence, some in fear, some with quiet respect. They had heard the warning. Long ago, do not touch Earth. They had listened. The Varnock did not. And now they would burn back on Earth. Messages went out to all resistance cells. A new signal, old, but repurposed. A call to unify, not for defense, but for retribution. Human cities still under siege turned the tide. All at once across the world, coordinated strikes, tech-infused ambushes, psychic echoes left by ancient machines. The Varnock had no counter because Earth wasn't just one mind, it was millions, all thinking, all fighting, all angry. In Australia, a captured Varnock officer begged for mercy. He spoke of fire from nowhere, weapons that thought on their own, of human soldiers who vanished into shadows, then reappeared behind enemy lines. He whispered, "This planet doesn't make sense. It's like it wants us gone. It's alive." The interrogator said nothing, just leaned forward and replied, "It's not the planet you should fear, it's the people." Asterisk, the dreadnought crossed the void, leaving Earth behind. Stars stretched like diamonds, silent and cold inside the ship. The crew prepared, calm, but focused. They had won. Mission 1 goal: strike the heart of the Varnock Empire, the planet. Jarkol, the Varnock homeworld, once shining with proud cities, now darkened by fear. The humans knew every weakness, every secret pathway, because Earth had learned from every battle, every defeat, every victory. The dreadnoughts AI mapped the planet, sharing real-time data with the crew. This is no longer just a war, the AI said. It's a reckoning. The crew nodded silently. They were ready to deliver justice. As they approached Jarkol's atmosphere, defenses activated. Massive energy shields flared. Varnock fighter squadrons, scrambled missiles launched but vanished into thin air. Because the dreadnought wasn't just a ship, it was a weapon of war and a ghost in the system. It phased through shields, disrupted communications. It struck with precision no one expected. Cities that had stood for thousands of years felt the first blow. Lights went out, alarms screamed, chaos erupted. The Varnock fought back fiercely, but their tactics were old. The humans had changed. They used the enemy's strength against them. One crew member looked out from the bridge. The surface below was a battlefield of fire and shadow. "They never thought we'd come here," she said softly. "They never thought Earth would fight back like this," the AI responded. "They underestimated the hunger, the fury, the will to survive." The Varnock Emperor watched from his throne room, his face dark, his voice cold. "They have come to burn us down," his generals argued, but no plan worked. The humans moved too fast, too smart, too fierce. One by one, the great cities fell. The dreadnought's weapons tore through the heart of the Empire, but it was not just destruction. It was a message Earth would not be conquered. Earth would not be broken. The Varnak people felt it too. Fear and doubt spread through their ranks. Whispers of surrender began to rise. But the Emperor refused to yield. He sent his elite guard to capture the dreadnought or destroy it. A fierce battle erupted in orbit, but the humans had one advantage. Their ship was part human, part Varnak. It knew the enemy's moves before they made them. It dodged attacks, countered strikes. Finally, it disabled the enemy flagship. The Emperor's command fell silent on the ground. Resistance cells spread hope. They broadcast messages of victory and freedom across the galaxy. Other species watched. Some cheered, some planned. Some wondered what would come next. The war had changed everything, and Earth had risen. Stronger, fiercer, unbroken, as the dreadnought prepared to return home. The crew knew the fight was not over, but they had sent a clear message: touch Earth, and you burn, and you burn. Earth's skies were clear, but the scars ran deep. The war had burned cities, broken empires, changed lives forever, but humanity stood tall, stronger than ever. United by fire and loss, the dreadnought returned to Earth. Silent and proud, its crew weary but hopeful. The victory was not just theirs. It belonged to every human who fought, who survived, who refused to bow. In the months after the war, Earth rebuilt not just buildings but trust alliances. Future's new technologies spread old wounds healed slowly. But a warning remained, a message carved into the stars. Do not touch Earth, because if you do, you will burn the galaxy. Watched as Earth claimed its place, no longer just a blue planet, but a force to be reckoned with. Other species reached out. Curious, cautious, respectful Earth answered with strength and with open arms. The Varnak Empire was no more. Broken by the fire they had started, but their story was a lesson, a warning to all who thought power was endless. Humanity had shown what it meant to fight for home, for survival, for hope, and the universe would never forget the fire of Earth.